You're such an asshole.
Scott writes, I'd like the Clarey test done on Joe Conforte, Carlos Lehder, and Popcorn Sutton. These jazz musicians or what? Thanks for your consideration, Scott. All right, well, let's start here. I'm going to start with Popcorn Sutter, because that's the most interesting. Popcorn Sutter. You get discounts for Wikipedia. You get discounts for multiple Clarey test requests. Marvin Popcorn Sutter, born 1946, 2009, was an American Appalachian moonshiner and bootlegger born in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. He grew up, lived, and died in the rural areas around Maggie Valley and nearby Coke County, Tennessee. He wrote a self-published autobiographical guide to moonshining production, self-produced a home video depicting his moonshining activities, was later the subject of several documentaries, including one that received a regional Emmy Award. Sutton committed suicide by carbon monoxide poisoning in March of 2009, age 62, rather than report to federal prison after being convicted of offenses related to moonshining and illegal firearm possession. Since his death, a new company and associated whiskey brand have been named after him. No. They stole his name that he didn't protect. Moonshining career, rise to fame. Sutton had a long career making moonshine and bootlegging. Sutton said he considered moonshine production a legitimate part of his heritage, as he was Scots, Irish, American, and descended from a long line of moonshiners. In the 60s or 70s, Sutton was given the nickname Popcorn after his frustrated attack on a bar's faulty popcorn vending machine with a pool cue. Before his rise to fame, at around 60 years of age, he had been in trouble with the law several times but had avoided prison sentences. He was convicted in 1974 of selling untaxed liquor in 1981 and 1985 on charges of possessing controlled substances and assault with a deadly weapon, but received only probationary sentences in those cases. Autobiography, Guide to Moonshine Production, called Me and My Liquor, spelled L-I-K-K-E-R, began selling copies of it in 1999 out of his junk shop in Maggie Valley. This is awesome. The New York Times later called it a rambling, obscene, and often hilarious account of his life in the trade. Well, yeah, but New Yorkers in general, but New York Times writers don't know what real work is. Short, skinny fellow, always wears hat. Feature film, documentary, Mountain Talk, feature 2006, 2008. Told an undercover officer he had 500 gallons of moonshine. God, that's what we got time for, huh, guys? That's what we got time for. Committed suicide, avoided federal prison. Wife Pam, he married 2 years before his death, returned home, running errands, discovered husband in his greed Ford Fairmont, still running. 3 jugs of liquor in it. Conventional grave. Okay, I mean, there's not a lot to go on here, but I think we could assume a couple things. 1, didn't major in stupid shit. 2, worked for a living, may not have been legal, but as you're finding out, especially with the gangsters in the 20s and 30s, all those guys have perfect Clarey test scores of 0. So he didn't major in stupid shit, ran booze, made booze, moonshining, real job, maybe illegal, but a real job. I'm going to assume didn't come from wealth. You saw his pictures. And what's he doing now? He's dead. He worked till he was dead. So he gets a perfect score. Should he have ran for office? Hell yes. Hell yes. Would I have liked to have a beer with him? Hell yes. Or some moonshine? I absolutely would have. In the olden days, you could just make your shit and sell it. And you didn't need a ton of federal regulators up your ass. But, you know, that's what we all want to do. All right, the next one. Carlos Lehder. Carlos Lehder, looks like he was in prison. He's got some mugshots here. Colombian drug lord. Okay. Carlos Enrique Lehder Rivas, former German Colombian drug lord who was the co-founder of the Medellin cartel. Oh, that's the guy who founded it. Okay. He's currently imprisoned in the United States, born in Armenia, Colombia. Lehder actually ran a cocaine transport empire on Norman Cay's Island, 210 miles off the Florida coast in the central Bahamas. Lehder was one of the founding members of the Muerte Sequestradores, a paramilitary group whose focus was to retaliate against the kidnapping of cartel members and their families by the guerrillas. Kind of a protection protection service for the mafia. His motivation to join the MAS was to retaliate against the M19 guerrilla movement, which on November 19th, 1981, attempted to kidnap him for a ransom. Oh, they probably pissed off the wrong guy. Lehder managed to escape from the kidnappers, though he was shot in the leg. He is one of the most important MAS and Medellin cartel operators and is considered one of the most important Colombian drug kingpins to have been successfully prosecuted in the United States. Additionally, Lehder founded a neo-Nazi political party, the National Latin Movement, whose main of course there's the German in him, of course, there you go, whose main function, police said, appeared to be to force Colombia to abrogate its extradition treaty with the United States. Early life. Mixed German-American descent, father German engineer, mother Colombian school teacher. The family owned a semi-legitimate used car business in the Medellin area, in which Carlos got his start as a criminal by supplying it with stolen American cars. I'm going to say he came from wealth. We're going to give him a point there. It sounds like a semi-legitimate used car business. And then his son steals the car. You're like, is it a full point? And he starts stealing cars. It's work. That's real work. It's illegal, but it's real work. It's not like I'm majoring in sociology. He's better than a politician, I'll tell you that. Lehder started out as a stolen car dealer, a marijuana dealer, a smuggler of stolen cars between the United States and Canada while serving a sentence for car theft in federal prison in Danbury, Connecticut. Why did he come all the way up to the U.S.? Lehder decided that upon his release, he would take advantage of the burgeoning market for cocaine in the United States. To that end, he enlisted his prison bunkmate, former marijuana dealer George Young, as a future partner. Young had experience flying marijuana to the United States from Mexico in small aircraft, staying below radar level. God, that's just like American Made with Tom Cruise. Staying below radar level and landing on dry lake beds. Inspired by the idea, Lehder decided to apply the principle. Wait, is this what? This wasn't the documentary that the movie was made after, was it? No, that guy got killed in the movie. This guy's still alive. Lehder decided to apply the principle to cocaine transport and formed a partnership with Young. While in prison, Lehder set out to learn as much information as possible that could be used to him in the cocaine business. He would sometimes even spend hours questioning fellow inmates about money laundering and smuggling. What else have you got to do? Guy's got a brain on him. Young allegedly said that Lehder kept countless files and constantly took notes. Lehder's ultimate scheme was to revolutionize the cocaine trade by transporting the drug to the United States using small aircraft. Norman's K, 70s. I'm just trying to figure out where he got arrested and was he working up to that time. Lehder's downfall was assisted by his blatant bribing of Bahamian officials and attention to activities. Yeah, when did he get arrested? Video capture trial. Or could not return to Norman's K. Okay, so 1983. Want to rebuild his fortune. In 1987, when he was extradited to the... When did he get arrested? Is this 83 he got arrested? New employee has informed the police location of theory. I'm not going to want him out of the picture due to his radical military-like behavior. Okay, so he was arrested. It doesn't say when he was arrested. He was arrested between 83 and 87. In 92, in exchange for Lehder's agreement to testify against Manuel Noriega, his sentence was reduced to a total of 55 years. 55 years! God, he'll be old when he gets out. Reneging ideal transferred to a journal. The letter was constructed as a threat against the judge. Within weeks of sending a letter, an idea was whispered right one night. So go Mesa, Arizona. He's just been sitting there. He requested Colombian government, lawyer, wrote a letter, President Colombia, in which he requests mediation with the United States, allowed him to return to Colombia. All right, so he's been sitting in jail since the 80s. God almighty. So, half point, full point. He came from wealth for Colombia. Dad probably winking a nod like, hey, you could go get those cars. I'm gonna get let's give him A point. We could debate about it later. A point. Did he major in stupid shit? No. Did he work for a living? Yeah. Was it crime? Yeah. But you still don't get a point for that, because it at least shows you have hustle. What was the other one? Did he come from wealth? Did he major in stupid shit? Does he have any significant private sector experience? What was he doing? Yeah, he has a lot of private sector experience. It's antithetical to public sector experience, in case the G-men were after him. What's he doing now? He's just sitting in jail. So you can't really fault him for that. So he's got a Clarey score of 0.5, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. Would I like to have a beer with him? Hell yes. Should he run for office? Probably not, with the neo-Nazi and the militia thing. But then once again, probably better than most of the politicians we have today. I could almost say that. Maybe I'll just make that a standard asterisk. Probably better than most of the politicians we have today. What was the final one? John Conforte. John Conforte. John Conforte. Was this the guy who ran for office and died? No, this guy died in Sicily. Oh no, he's still alive. Fleeing the country when convicted of tax fraud. John Conforte, 1926, is the owner of the Mustang Ranch, a Nevada brothel that was the first legal brothel in the United States. The brothel was closed by the Internal Revenue Service in 1999 because the government just can't let anybody have fun. But is now reopened under new management. He's portrayed by Joe Pesci in the 2010 film Love Ranch. Early life, born 1926 in Augusta, a little city close to Catania, Sicily. He immigrated with his family in the United States in 1937 and settled in Dorchester, Massachusetts. During World War II and into the early 50s, Conforte was a cab driver in Oakland, California. He drove soldiers from the Oakland Army Air Base and sailors and Marines from the Oakland Naval Supply Depot and Alameda Naval Air Station to brothels on the border of Alameda County and Contra Costa County, adjacent to the site of what is now a shopping center at El Cerrito Plaza. Okay, so he's born 26. He's driving cab in 37? No. That'd make him 11 years old. 45. Let's say 40. Oh, God, he must have been... He wasn't... He was 14 when 13 when World War II started. Is that right? 26. 1940. Well, 1939 technically, but 1940, I'm doing the math. Yeah, he wasn't old enough. So he was driving real early. Like, once he got his license, he was... I don't know what the driving age was back then. It's probably real early. So he didn't come for money, I'm going to guess. He has real-world working experience. Conforte moved to Nevada in 1955 and opened the Triangle River Ranch, also known simply as the Triangle Ranch, in Wadsworth. It was an illegal brothel at the junction of Washoe, Story, and Lyon counties, hence the name, Tri-River Ranch. So the story goes, the Triangle Ranch was housed in a trailer. When the Washoe County Sheriff declared the brothel a public nuisance and went to shut it down, Conforte would haul the trailer over to Story County. When the Story County Sheriff came after him, Conforte would then move the trailer to Lyon County. By the time the bordello became a public nuisance in Lyon County, Conforte felt enough time had passed that it would be safe to return the trailer to Washoe County. And you guys just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. It's a victimless crime. Leave him alone. In 1959, then Washoe County District Attorney Bill Raggio summarily had the ranch burned down after Conforte tried to extort money from him. Oh, that's not good. Conforte was convicted for this and served 22 months in jail. I see, then you stepped the line, man. You went from libertarian to real criminal. In 1963, convicted of the crime of tax evasion, Conforte served 2.5 years in prison. Pay your taxes. Just pay your taxes. Mustang Ranch. Joe Conforte and his wife Sally Burgess Conforte took over the Mustang Bridge Ranch in Story County in 1967. The name of the brothel was later changed to the Mustang Ranch. In 1971, Story County made prostitution legal and licensed Conforte as a brothel owner. Now you guys are buddies, huh? You didn't like him before, but now you guys are buddies. Conforte paid bellman at the famous Mapes Hotel to direct guests to the legal brothel. Where's the Mapes Hotel? What's the Mapes Hotel? Learn everything here nowadays. Located in downtown Reno, Nevada, next to the Truckee River. It was built in 1947. It was the first skyscraper built in the United States since the start of World War II. Art Deco, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I wonder if it's still around. Oh, I probably drove past it when I was in Reno that one time. 1973, Conforte made a cameo appearance as himself in the Don Siegel film Charlie Varick. Oh, he's in that? Oh, I love that movie. That's a good movie, guys. If you want to see a good manly movie, get Charlie Varick. And Walter Matthau does not play a funny, charming guy. He plays a good bad guy and a very good anti. Probably one of the best anti-heroes ever played was played by Walter Matthau and Charlie Varick. Son of a gun. April 1977, Joe and Sally Conforte were arrested on 10 counts of tax evasion. She was fined $10,000 and given a suspended sentence. He faced a minimum of 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Conforte appealed his conviction but fled the county in 1980. When he lost the appeal, he later returned and served a reduced sentence. Flight to Brazil. Oh, God. Wasted all that time and money if you had just paid your freaking taxes. Conforte fled to Brazil in 1991 ahead of a federal grand jury, handing up numerous indictments in 1995 and 1998. The Brazilian Supreme Court ruled in 1999 that the extradition treaty between Brazil and the United States did not cover bankruptcy fraud. He lives there now. Conforte's first wife, Sally, died in 1992. He has 2 daughters with his second wife and one other daughter with a woman in Nevada. I bet. Okay. No stupid degree. Didn't come from wealth. Didn't major in stupid shit. Worked as real world private sector experience. What's he doing now? He's escaping. I'm gonna give him a. You always want to give him stupid point for that. Like, you could have made all this money with prostitution being legal in Nevada, and you just didn't pay your taxes. Why don't you just jack up your rates by 40%? What's he doing now? He's a fugitive. I'm going to give him a point against that. You know, if we all got to pay taxes, he's got to pay taxes too. So yeah, would I want to have a beer with him? Hell yeah. Should he run for office? No. I know we all want to go like, he's one of the good fellas. The mafioso took care of their own. They had more honor than the government. Yeah, but this guy, if he thinks he's above paying taxes, that's like every other politician ever. They don't think they should pay taxes. They don't. You think politicians pay taxes? They get charged and they get fuck them. So yeah, he gets a 3. He should not run for office, but I would have loved to have talked with this guy. He seems to think himself better than other people, that he doesn't have to play by the rules. So that's why I wouldn't want him running for office. All right, that's it. You guys got Clarey test requests? Go ahead and send them on over. assholeconsulting.com. See you all later. Toodles.